This video going to run through the different order types and how to place trades. So and also, sorry, we'll talk about leverage as well. So first thing we want to look at is how to place spot trades. So like I said, we recommend trading only in spot until you understand how to use it and want to move on to trading on perpetuals. All right, so here we're on Bitcoin spot market. So what you see on the right hand side is your account details, your balance, and everything. So it'll show you how much US dollars you have and how that's broken down, and then also your collateral there and different things like leverage, position leverage, fraction, margin. You can ignore all of this until we talk about the leverage side of things. I just want to show you how to buy and sell actual Bitcoin, spot Bitcoin itself. Okay. So you've got two options when buying and selling Bitcoin. We'll just zoom in here and you can see at the moment the price is 33,683. So if you wanted to buy Bitcoin, right, say you thought that the price was going to go up and you wanted to buy it, you would come down to this tab here. All right. So here's where you buy, here's where you sell. You using this little tab here can toggle you between the advanced order form, which is this one, and the regular order form, which is this one. Okay, so we'll just cover the regular one first, and you look here, and you've got two options. You can either buy immediately using a market order, or you can put a limit order in and set a price that you want to buy Bitcoin at. Okay, so by coming down here, you go to market order. Okay, market order means that you take whatever price is available in the books at the time of hitting buy. Okay, so a market order is a taker. That means that you're the person who's taking liquidity, and the opposite to that is a limit order where you're the maker, which means you're providing liquidity. All right. So you see here on the left hand side, you've got the order book, and you can see each price. You can see there's 6, 9, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, right? So the whole way up and the whole way down, you've got what are called asks and bids, or offers and bids. You can see, for example, here this moves quite fast, but you can see, for example, here that at 695 there's 216,000. There was $216,000 worth of Bitcoin for sale at that price, essentially. Okay, so that means that people want to sell Bitcoin at that price, and they've put limit orders in. And a limit order will always rest on the books, so it's called a resting order or resting liquidity. It will rest on the books until it gets filled. Okay, so it's also known as passive flow. So if it's passive flow, it means that it's sitting on the books waiting to be filled. And it gets filled by active flow, which is somebody coming along and saying, I need to buy Bitcoin now. I don't care what the price is. I'm going to just buy one Bitcoin and hit submit. When somebody comes along and does that, that price then goes through the book here and fills the full order at the best price possible. So simple example, if you put a limit order in for 33,699 and you wanted to sell one Bitcoin, you can put it on the books. Okay, so then there's one Bitcoin on the books at 33,699. If somebody then comes along and wants to purchase one Bitcoin, they will press one Bitcoin and click buy, and the price will the executed price will go through the books until that order is complete. So if there was no other orders ahead of your 33,699, then you would sell your Bitcoin to that person and they would buy it. Okay, it can get more complicated than that, but that's basically what it means. And the difference that you want to be aware of is that market orders generally open up the opportunity for slippage, and they're more expensive in terms of fees. Okay, what slippage is the difference in the price that's quoted and the price that you actually get when you place the order. Because there are transactions happening all the time, You can see on the right hand side here, these are the current trades that are going through. So every second really, there's more trades coming in. So you might see 33,710 and you might press, okay, I want to buy 1 Bitcoin. But by the time you click that and it goes through, there's going to be a number of other people have also bought it. There's going to be more orders getting added to the book and taken off the book all the time. So you won't know what price you got until you actually go and check on your order history, and it'll show you the exact price that it was executed at. That's the risk, and that's one of the downsides of a market order. So this one, so if you use a market order, it means it's going to take just whatever price is available. All right. So to get around that, or if you wanted to say, no, I only want to buy Bitcoin if it's at 33, let's say 33,697, then you can specify that 33,697 limit order, and you can put in, say, 1 Bitcoin, and then you press position, okay, or press buy, and it would put that then onto the books, and it would allow you to place that. Let me actually show you. Since we're not using any margin here and we're no leverage, I've just got a separate test account here. So I'll put in the amount that I have in it. Okay. So let's say I think price is going to go along here, right? So I don't want to buy it up here. I want to buy it, let's say, if it goes down to, let's say, 33. It's a bit high for me today. I don't want to actually purchase it at 33,687, so I'm going to put it on the books here. So you press buy, you put in your amount, and you click buy limit order, okay? And that will put that order in on the books. So if price comes down and hits that level, it's going to fill your order, and then you'll have that, that number of Bitcoin purchased at that price. Okay, I'll just cancel that. When doing that, you can also set targets for profit and stop loss. So if you wanted to buy it at 33,000, sorry, like I said, you put it in here. You also want to set where you want to sell and take profit, or sell and stop as a stop loss. If it goes down, you can do that here as well. So that's just by, like I'd sit there, just go into the advanced order tab. You've got limit 33,000, and then you want to just put in what profit you would like to take that at. So say you want it to go to 34, and then your stop loss, you say that's 32. So that's obviously a 1-to-1 risk to reward. So you're risking, you're putting in your 2,000, and if it goes up to 34,000, you're going to make 3%. And if it drops down to 32,000, you're going to lose around 3%. So you're basically saying, I feel that if it goes to 33,000, it's going to go to 34 before it goes to 32. And you place that. It shows you what your profit would be, what your loss would be if it stops out. And then you can place that order. It'll put it on the books like this. And I'll just zoom out a bit so we can see. All right, so that's what it's going to do there. It will go here. It'll get placed if price reaches that, it's going to buy your Bitcoin, and then it'll take the profit here if it goes up. And if it drops all the way down there, it's going to sell it and stop you out. Okay, so you just close those. So that's the basics of how to buy and sell, and what the order differences are. So limit versus market. Then there are a number of different orders based upon other actions that you want to take in the market. Okay, so these are important to understand and important to know what they mean. So we'll go through them in order. So you've got a stop order. Okay, so stop doesn't mean that it doesn't just apply to price going down. A stop can also be used for price going up. So if you place a stop buy order, you can see here, If the market rises above the trigger price, a market order will be sent. And similarly, if you place a stop sell order, if the market drops below the trigger price, a market order will be sent. So let's look at it simply. And if you thought the Bitcoin price was going to go up and you wanted to buy it on a breakout, you would put a stop market order at whatever level it was. All right, 33,973, let's say. And you place that. That puts the order here so that you can buy something higher if you want to. I'm not saying that we recommend this at all. It's not a type of trading that I do. But if you did want to buy something higher, you place a buy stop. You might be thinking, why wouldn't I just place a limit order? Because the limit order we covered before. Well, a limit order will actually buy up to and sell down to. What that means is if you place the limit order at 33,973, it would actually just place the order immediately at the best available price. Okay? A limit order for buying only comes into effect if it's below the price. It'll only sit on the books if it's below the price. You can't put a limit order in above the current price. If you do, it's just going to convert it into a market order and give you a fill at the current price. Okay? That's why you would use stops if you want to trade outside of the current price. So that's a common one that catches people out as well. So be careful with that, because if you place a limit order incorrectly, it's going to give you a price that you didn't want. So if you wanted 33,973 and you place the limit order, it's going to give you 33,654, and it's going to put it through as a market trade, which is going to cost you some fees as well. And then you would have to reverse that and sell it, which is going to cost you more again. So be careful with that one. It's not a trade. It's not an order type that you should be using much anyway, in terms of stop trades. But limit trades, just remember, if you're placing a limit buy, always goes below the price. If you're placing a limit sell, it always goes above the price. Okay, because on order books, there's sellers above and there's buyers below. Stop limit is a bit more complicated as well. I'll cover stop market just and show you the sell side of it. This is the most common use for a stop market order. It's just like we had shown on the initial in the order a minute ago. A stop market is when you want to place a trade below the current price or below whatever price you're in, to stop the trade if it goes too low. Okay, so it's at 33.4. It's not going to let me place it because this is a sell order on spot, so I would have to borrow the amount. So it's not going to allow me to trade it unless I click margin. But a stop market order would essentially, if it was 33,400, it would put an order in here, okay, which would, if triggered, would sell your Bitcoin. Okay, so it's basically for protection. It's a stop loss. Then you could stop limit, which is the same idea as the stock market, but it just means you can set a limit order. So it means that you become on the other side of the trade. So it, instead of just triggering and taking a market order, it would trigger and allow you to place a limit order. Okay, so the reason you would use this is that, let's say the price of Bitcoin was to go down to a certain level, and you think, okay, if Bitcoin goes to 33,400, I then want to place a limit order that if it reaches, say, 33,500, then let me see, 2,000. Like that. And margin on for now. That would mean that if price comes down and touches 33,400, it's going to place a sell order at 33,500. Okay, so you would use this if you think the price is going to drop, hit a certain level, and then rise again, and then drop again. So it's quite a complex order type. It's not something that you need to be concerned with, but I want to go through them all because they're here, and just so you're aware if you do ever want to use it. But it's probably not something that you need to be using. It's quite an advanced order type. But you can see here, if the market price falls below the trigger price, a limit order will be sent. Okay. Generally, you're going to set that limit order above, because if it hits this level, it's going to bounce up and then trigger the limit price, which means you can put a limit order on and basically pay less fees and add an order to the books. A trailing stop is an option for price to a stop loss, let's say, to follow behind the price. So if you were placed a long trade or bought some Bitcoin, say you bought it here, 32,183, and then suddenly it blasts up like this, and you're up over 33,600, 700. When the price is here, let's say, this is a good example where it's sitting now, and you think, oh, okay, well, price might continue on up to 34 and above, or it might pull back. So my entry's here. I want to place a trailing stop so that if Bitcoin drops back by a certain amount, it triggers my stop loss and I close the trade. Okay. And what you do then with the trail value is you have to put in the number of dollars behind the current price that you want to trail it. So let's say it was $100. If you're using a sell stop order, it needs to be negative. So it wants to be minus 100. All right. And let's say it was 2000. Then that means if you had placed this order and we're at 33,636, it's going to automatically calculate $100 off that. So 33,536. And it's going to place your trailing stop loss there, which means if price then hits that level, it's going to sell your Bitcoin. If price goes up, then it's going to recalculate that trailing value every time the price makes a new high. Okay, so I'll just talk through the description here, which I've just said, but I'll cover it again. Trigger price of a trading stop order moves with the market price. It starts at the market price minus the trail value. Each time the market price rises to a new high, trigger will update the new price minus the trail value. If the market price reaches the trigger price, meaning it's fallen by the trail value, a market order will be sent. Okay, so every time price makes a new high after you've placed it, it's going to update that trailing stop and then basically keep you constantly in a position where you're never going to lose more than whatever number of points you had set for your stop. Useful if price is breaking out, let's say, and it's going up on a really fast move, and you're unsure of, you don't know when it's going to pull back. You're in profit, and you want to make sure you lock in some of that profit so you can place a trailing stop. Especially if you're not going to be near the computer, you're not going to be trading it. You're not going to be actively looking at it. The trading stop can be useful for that, just to make sure that even though you're not there to manage the trade, that you'll still be safe for locking in some profit. Take profit orders are fairly self-explanatory. If you have a take profit sell order, it's an indication that you want to put an order on the books to sell your Bitcoin when it reaches a certain price. Okay, so if you think I've bought my Bitcoin at 2,000, say you've bought it at 33,600, and you say, okay, well, whenever it gets to 34,600, I want to take profit. All right, so you put that on the book. You ignore this. I'm only doing it for example purposes. That box wouldn't come up if I actually had bought Bitcoin first. This is so you won't see that box if you actually own the Bitcoin, and you shouldn't be placing these trades unless you own the coin. Okay, so that means that if price goes up here, you want to take profit. It'll sell your Bitcoin for you and lock in the profit. That's how take profit works. Again, works the same the other way around. If you're doing a buy take profit, that means you're gonna take a buy order whenever price drops down to the level, and that's if you're shorting, obviously. Shorting, we're going to come on to in a second. You shorting and everything, that's done through the perpetual futures, but I'm just showing spot trading at the moment. And take profit limit is the same as the stop limit that we had touched on before, where you want to set an order in the books that if it triggers a certain price, then it puts a limit order at another price for you to take profit. Okay. So if you were, again, you'd bought Bitcoin and you're trying to sell it, that means that you would trigger the price at a certain level and it would then put a sell order above that, so that you could then take profits. But again, those, it's not that important. In my opinion, it's much easier to just stick to take profit, stock market, limit order, and market order. You don't need to, play with stop limits, take profit limits, or trading stops. Really, you should have a defined entry, risk, and profit target, and just stick with those. All right. So next part we'll do is we'll go to leverage. We'll talk about leverage, and then we'll talk about how to short. And let me see.